So I thought this week's episode was going to be on cornstarch hinge containers, but as I started to study the product up close, it turns out it wasn't cornstarch after all. It happens to be made out of BDP-PP. 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 And what's that, you ask? Well, that's a great question, and we're going to be discussing that today. Well, check it, folks. My name is E-P. This is Food Packaging TV, where we bring you the latest in food news, innovation, and of course, food packaging. Now let's hit it! Today, I want to introduce to you these interesting food packaging products that were sent to me by Jack Chiao from DONGGUANG HONGBO, a manufacturer of food packaging food service products for supermarkets, hotels, and a lot more coming out of Guangdong, China. They are committed to research and have developed eco-friendly materials including bioplastics, breakdown plastics, and plant fiber packaging materials. For a full list of items that they manufacture, I've included Jack's contact details in the description below, so check it out. Now, let's talk about the samples. So what Jack has sent over, at first glance, I thought they were made out of cornstarch, which some of them are. But under a closer examination, I even went through the email and learned that these are actually in fact made out of BDP-PP. And what is BDP-PP? Well, let's break it down, OPP styles. You down with me? We all know that PP is polypropylene, but what the heck is this BDP part? Well, when in doubt, Google. So what I found out was BDP stands for Breakdown Plastics, which has been trademarked by a company called Change Plastic for Good Inc., which is a manufacturer and distributor of the organic biodegradation enhancing polymer called BDP. This is a patented technology, which in essence is an additive that is used to enhance the biodegradation of plastic, rubber, foam, and fabric products in an anaerobic, biologically active environment. And just to recap, an anaerobic environment is an environment where the biological breakdown takes place and there's an absence of oxygen. On their website, see the link in the description below, they even mentioned that BDP-treated products can also break down in landfills, oceans, and soils that are rich in microbe activity. So how does it work exactly? Well, this additive, which is a carbon-based ingredient, so that enables polymers to biodegrade like organic matter. I know, crazy, right? So you can add BDP to various types of plastics, and those plastics that have been treated with BDP have unlimited shelf life and are completely non-toxic. So if you do add BDP to a petroleum-based resin, how does it work? So microbes, they eat what's called biofilm, which is a matrix of various levels of dirt, bacteria, and fungi, and they survive in a moisture-rich environment. Now this carbon-based ingredient, they attract these microbes to the plastic product, allowing the microbes to control their pH level and become quorum sensing. So that's how bacteria or microbe, they talk to one another. They have these antennae and they send these little signals out to one another. That's how they create quorum sensing. They create their majority together. Anyway, the microbes then colonize on the surface of the plastic and they secrete an enzyme specific to that substrate. So in this case, it's the actual plastic that breaks down the polymer chain. So once the polymer chain is opened, the microbes will now utilize this carbon backbone along with the entire biofilm, which is a source of food and energy for them. So they'll just eat it all up and biodegradation occurs at the microflora level. So again, the difference between BDP treated plastic and traditional plastic is that BDP creates an opportunity for the microbes to utilize plastic as food and energy. And this accelerates that biodegradation as microbes consume the plastic. And essentially what you're left over with is the same type of byproducts that you'll find when you're biodegrading organic waste like food scraps. You're left with a biomass combined with biogas and water, which then can ultimately be combusted to generate electricity, heat, and can be processed into renewable natural gas and transportation fuels. You know, to be honest, I feel this type of setup should be considered at every new condo, building project, school, whatever big type of institution you can think of, where they can utilize the sewage and the green channels to maybe perhaps trickle down into a large anaerobic tank at the back of the building and provide regenerative power to the entire building, cut down on the residents' maintenance fees, and the building power supply off the grid. Write in the comments if you think that that'd be a great idea and something that would be an attraction to you to buy into a green building. Just thinking. Well, they not only catalyze the entire biodegradation of plastics, but they're also recyclable. With a number of independent tests that are determined that BDP-treated plastics are suitable for the recycling stream and it doesn't contaminate the entire system. For more details on these lab tests, check out the description and the links below. The current rates of plastic biodegradation in a biologically active landfill vary according to the type of plastic material that BDP has been treated with and the product configuration, as well as the solid content within the landfill, the temperature, and moisture content of the landfill. But here's something to think about. Plastics are actual hydrocarbons produced from petroleum and a natural organic compound which is 100% biodegradable by the action of bacteria. During the distillation process that takes place at high temperatures, the original organic nutrients are vaporized. Plastic products are designed to be durable, and in the case of any packaging type really, they're also designed to provide effective protection to the packaged goods. For this reason, it takes hundreds of years for these microorganisms to break down traditional plastics into biogas or biomass. Many of the advantages of plastic products become disadvantages when it becomes necessary to dispose of them after their end of use. Instead of being reused or recycled, the vast majority of these products are disposed in the landfill. In fact, about 79% of plastics that have been manufactured till date are actually sent to the landfill. But recycling still remains an economic and logistical challenge. Plastics tend to be recycled only once, then processed into a fabric or wood without any possibility of subsequent recycling unless it's PET, which can be recycled numerous of times. But that's why most plastics, including recyclable plastics, are disposed of in the landfill. But if you're looking for a better way and are interested in learning more about BDP treated products, get in touch with Change Plastic for Good or reach out to Jack Chiu. I left their contact details in the description. Okay folks, now for a quick review for our friend Jack Chiu from Guangdong. So basically I had a couple of samples that came through. Some were hinge containers and some were meat trays. Now I'll be very honest with you, I think the best suitable application for this BDP product, at least from what I see here today, is probably going to be more so for the meat tray. And here's why. I feel that if you had a little bit of weight, this thing would just easily bend. So for that reason, I'm out of this one. But I think for this one, I'm in. I believe that this one would probably give foam meat trays a run for the money, depending on obviously price structure. But I think for the fact that it can be 100% recycled, I am aware that it's not in Canada right now, but it could be one day because it is currently accepted in Europe, according to the papers that I've read. So that being said, any takers? Comment below. And that's gonna do it for this week's episode of Food Packaging TV. My name is Dilash P. Thank you for joining me. Next week, we're gonna do a special interview with the man himself, Mr. Shane Harker from Rethink Resource. You won't want to miss this. Please feel free to subscribe, like, share, comment, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this week's episode, especially on BDP treated products. Till next week, peace out. Wait a minute.